Welcome everybody to Mend the Broken. This is going to be a biblical research type podcast and also trying to raise awareness to some of these very deceptive practices that we are seeing being used in the great sphere of the world, right? Or not sphere per se, but through the global, I guess, the internet, since we have the ability to contact somebody clear across the world in the matter of seconds. Things are really starting to get screwy around on this rock we find ourselves on, isn't it? Today, we are going to be focusing on the deception of lightworkers. And I am going to try to prove to you the fact that they are working with demons, because it's too much. It's too much. It has gotten to the point with these light workers where, like, the whole point of their deception is to sound good. They want to sound intelligent. What they say sounds nice to the uninitiated, that whole love and peace and everybody care for each other and that kind of thing. And that sounds very nice if you are uninitiated to the truth and you can't see past what they're saying to actually hear what they are saying, if that makes any sense. Well, I'm going to play three audio clips. I'm going to play for you guys. I'm not going to tell you anybody's name. We're not trying to go after people. I'm just trying to show you the deception of the practice of light working and how it is basically just tapping into the power of these dark entities for things like seeing the future, things like remote viewing, things like this whole idea of manifesting your own destiny. And that sounds very nice. And part of that, in part, with the deception, they have to leak in some truth to reel you in. And then they slowly start bringing all these dark agendas into it. Well, you're already sucked in. I was deceived by one of these YouTube, I don't know if you could call him a preacher or whatever. He was teaching biblical type stuff. And I was deceived for a while. And then he started to talk about things that I know for a fact was not scriptural. So I went back to actually reading the Bible after being, I'm not gonna lie, guys, it was years before years until the last time I picked up a Bible. Probably a decade, actually. I'll go ahead and it was probably well over 10 years. And I actually start reading, and whenever you actually pick the book up and you read, you see a lot more of this deception, a lot more of these lies that are being shoved down your throat on a regular basis. And that's part of their agenda. It's part of their agenda to cram this stuff down your throat. So I'm going to go ahead and play those three audio clips. We'll play those, and then we'll come back through the magic of editing, and we'll get back over here, and we'll talk about them. So the clips are going to be played right now.
Why is the world like this, Ralph? Why do we need money? All of these racing thoughts flooding your mind. Where do we go when we die, Ralph? Like, I'm sure the pharmaceutical companies, like, they're just out to make profit, Ralph. Why do children have to go to school and learn things that they don't actually need in real life? Like, why didn't anybody tell me and teach me how to love myself? And then you can't go back to sleep? Does that ever happen to you deep divers? Well, that used to happen to me all the time. Then I realized why, deep divers. You see, they lied to you from childhood. They gave you the wrong information because they themselves didn't know. So they made up a story about what the world is really about. They made a story for you to believe in, and this story is based on a lie. It's not based on the truth. And whenever you live in a lie, you will always look a bit shaky, baby. A great film, The Wizard of Oz. And in that film, the good witch, Glinda, tells Dorothy, "You've had the power all along, dear." And that statement really became embedded in my mind. And that's how I freed myself, deep divers, to the truth. Because I know from childhood, everything I was taught was wrong. But that's what happened then. Now I know all the power has been with me all along to create whatever reality I want. I take responsibility because I am an infinite being. So deep divers, if you are someone who's like, "Ralph, the world keeps screwing me over. The world is a lie." I know it is. But you live in the truth when you take responsibility and say, "I am the world."
We are talking all about awakening past lives. God, time. Newsflash, your current reality is an illusion. That thing that we call time, it doesn't actually exist. The concept of consciousness has been proven by science, and through our observation, we can actually change this reality. You are your own greatest teacher. Our mind creates our reality, as proven by quantum physics. Then doesn't that mean that God isn't creating this world, but we are? What do you think?
Here, as a student and a mentor of the occult arts, it's been my goal to teach people how they can tap into the same power that I've personally used to manipulate the physical world and materialize all of my desires in my life.
And we are back from playing 3 audio clips. Now, here's the kicker. 2 of those people were light workers. One of them is a legit, I don't know about legit, whatever. It's just my choice of words. I'm sorry, it's the way I talk. He is a black magician. He is actually very open about his workings with demons. And what he's talking about kind of sounds a lot like what these light workers are talking about, doesn't it? Those 2 clips, all 3 clips actually, all 3 clips kind of sound, they're all talking about the same thing. They're all using the same talking points. But one of the people is actually straight up and straightforward with you about the fact that he is working with demons, while the other 2 hide the fact that they are working with demons because it doesn't fit their motives. It doesn't sell their books. It doesn't sell their merch online. It doesn't get them on these live streams with these conspiracy people where if you say anything about her being a demon worker and things of the sort, you get blocked in chat, and they tell you that if you're into the Bible, maybe this is not the live stream for you. So that's thousands of people who refuse to see the truth. And the things that she was talking about on that live stream was straight up black magic. So, this is what we're going to do now, actually. I'm going to read some scriptures. I actually sat here for a little bit trying to figure out some things from the Bible and the book of Enoch that will help me explain what I'm trying to explain here, okay? So, Enoch 13, 1 through 3. And Enoch went and said, Azazel, thou shalt have no peace, and serve sentence. Sorry guys, I'm a little rusty on my reading. A severe sentence has gone forth against thee, to put thee in bonds, and thou shalt have no toleration, nor request granted to thee, because of the unrighteousness which thou hast taught, and because of all the works of godlessness, and unrighteousness and sin thou hast shown to men, and I went and spoke to them all. what is that telling you? Enoch, for those who don't know, was the scribe of God. The book of Enoch, or at least book 1, that was actually translated by R.H. Charles, is not the esoteric workings of the counterfeit Enoch. That's for a completely different subject, and other people have touched on that. So if you want to research it, you can throw that into Google. I strongly recommend you look into Now You See TV's Midnight Ride. They dive into a lot of this stuff as well. They're better at it than I am. They have a lot more experience. I'm just now getting into this. So, that, for those of you who don't know, Enoch was the scribe of God. And in the book of Enoch, the Watchers, or the fallen angels that came down and corrupted mankind, try to get Enoch to go plead their case to God for them. And it does not go well. You guys should read into it. The second passage I'm going to read is Enoch 16:3, which says, we're actually going to start on the last word of 2, just because of the way it's chopped up. It's a little bit hard to read, a little confusing. Say to them, you have been in heaven, and all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless ones. And these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on earth. Say to them, therefore, you have no peace. So, the Watchers came down, and they taught mankind the magics of heaven. Well, what they thought were the magics of heaven. There are actually a lot more that tells you that the powers that God have are way superior to any of this manifestation, demon garbage that these people want to try to drill into your skull and corrupt you, screw your mindset up to where you're not willing to hear the truth. Trust me, you can go in some of those live chats, man, and those people will straight up ignore you, and the mods will ban you, and it's just, they don't like it whenever you go in there with truth. They really don't, because it hurts their bottom line. The dude running that live stream didn't want me in there trying to get people to not support what was going on, because, you know, that hurts his dollars. People not giving super chats and all that hurts his monies. And that's where a lot of this deception all rolls back into. It all rolls into the money. So, we are going to look into this right here. These light workers. I have a biblical dictionary right here. We're going to look up, I've already have it marked. Boom. We're going to look up sorcerer. Alright. One who practices the arts of the magicians and astrologers, by which he pretends to foretell events with the assistance of evil spirits. So, if there is someone who is telling you they can foresee the future through this light work magic that they can do, this remote viewing where they can see all these crazy workings and they can remote view your location and they can see things that others cannot and all of that, it is sorcery, which says right here that it comes from evil spirits. But they don't want to hear that. They don't like it when you talk about that. They really don't. They like to act like they are spreading light and joy. It's all about love, man. And that's all great. That's all cool. Until you start talking about this download of information that you receive from the universe. No. If you're praying to something called the universe, it's not. There is one true God, and you are straight up. What's the phrasing? What's the phrasing? Spitting in God's eye, basically. It's not going to bode very well for you. Because working with demons only ends one way, guys. Working with demons only ends one way. And that is with the full corruption of your soul. You yourself either become a demon or you become consumed by demons. So it's really not, and trust me guys, I'm not like speaking, out of nowhere over here. I was into some darkness in my teen years. I did things that you wasn't supposed to do, and I paid prices for it. I almost died in a car wreck. So that was fun for me. But sometimes God just has to reach down and shake you and tell you that you're not walking the right path. Now, I got some more scriptures here for you guys. Some more scriptures to help with this light work, sorcery type things. And everybody, you can look all this stuff up for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. But light workers are working with demons. It is a deception to think otherwise, okay? Proverbs 4:18 through 19. Let's find it here in my old King James Bible here. Alright, 18 and 19. But the path of the just... come on and learn how to read properly. This is just nonsense here. Sorry, guys. I'll figure it all out sooner or later. But the path of the just is as shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. Or unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not what they stumble. Or they know not at what they stumble. So, as people are being led down the path, they believe it's just, but it's not. And they refuse to be told otherwise. I don't understand. It's all right here. It's all right here in black and white, ladies and gentlemen. It's all right here in black and white, and it doesn't make any sense to me of why people... Maybe it's just because I was raised... Or not raised, I grew up being an outsider, so I'm not one to go with the group or go with the crowd anyway, and I can see a lot of the stuff, and I know ahead of time that it's a bad idea, because I'm not blinded by the propaganda, blinded by the media. I'm not, I don't watch the news. It's all fear-mongering. It's garbage. It's not good for your mental faculties to be scared all the time, and they know that. So, another scripture here. Acts 8, 9 through 11. Chapter 8, 9 through 11. And this goes along with the sorcerers and the sorcery points I'm making here. But there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one, tricking people through magic that he was some great one, probably trying to convince people that he was God. There's a lot of that, and it's not a lot of this like, you're your own God. There's only one God, and trust me, if you are a mortal and you breathe the air that the rest of us do, you are no God. And how dare you think otherwise? If you are mortal, you don't even know. You don't even know what you're playing with. Alright. Get back onto this. Acts chapter 8, 10, because I stopped after reading 9. To whom they all gave heed, and least to greatest, saying, this man is the great power of God. So they thought that he had the power of God, but he was using the sorceries that was taught by the Watchers. Okay, Acts 8:11. And to him they had regard, because that of long time he had bewitched them with sorceries. So he tricked them with his sorceries that came from the Watchers, secrets of heaven that mankind is not supposed to meddle with. But these light workers will have you think otherwise. They will try to convince you that what they are doing is working with angels. Guess what? It's not. That is not. Because this is not a scriptural theory. This is something from my own brain. But the last time angels meddled with the workings of humans, they were cast down to earth and then made to sit, watch, as the children they had created and all the things that they had done were wiped away. So, they came down, they taught the magics, and that was the last time angels meddled with the goings-on of mortals. So, do you really think that angels are telling these random people anything? If it's not coming from God, do you really believe this whole, like, oh, well, I speak with the angels? Really? Because the last time angels came down and meddled, they were done away with. Now, I'm not saying, you don't have your guardian angels and things of whatnot and, protection, but whenever you're talking about intergalactic space federations and things of the sort, like you're communicating with aliens and angels, and like that one chick in that actual live stream straight up says that she said that she communicates with dark entities, because if you're going to communicate with the light side, you have to communicate with the dark side too. And it's like, no, all you're doing is working with demons, and at least some of them. That one guy like he straight up will tell you he's a black magician. I can have a little bit not of respect for what he does in his lifestyle, because that's I don't get down like that. But at least he's straight up with it. At least he's straight up with it and tells you like what it is. I work with demons. He tells you straight up like this is what I do. So that's gonna be it for today's episode of Mend the Broken